ముందుగా ప్రియమైన విద్యార్థులకు మరియు వారి తల్లిదండ్రులకు నమస్కారం. నా పేరు కె వెంకన్న జూనియర్ కాలేజీలో చైర్మన్. నేను ఈ రోజు 10th క్లాస్ విద్యార్థులను దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని మాట్లాడడం జరుగుతుంది. అది ఏమిటనగా, మనందరికీ తెలుసు, గత 2 సంవత్సరాలుగా కరోనా కారణంగా విద్యార్థులు ఎటువంటి పరీక్షలు రాయకుండానే పై తరగతులు పంపడం జరుగుతుంది. ఫలితంగా ఐఐటి జేఈ మరియు నీట్ లాంటి జాతీయ స్థాయి పరీక్షలను సాధించడం కష్టతరం అవుతుంది. దీనిని అధిగమించడానికి మరియు 10వ తరగతి పరీక్షలో అత్యధిక మార్కులు సాధించడానికి నేను మీ ముందుకు కె వెంకన్న జూనియర్ కాలేజ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ద్వారా అనుభవజ్ఞులైన అధ్యాపకులచే ఉచిత వీడియో క్లాసులు, హ్యాండ్ రిటన్ నోట్స్ మరియు గత ప్రశ్నపత్రాల సమాధానాల విశ్లేషణ ఇవ్వబడును. కాబట్టి నేను విద్యార్థులకు చెప్పదలుచుకున్నది ఏంటంటే, ఈ ఉచిత వీడియో క్లాసులను మరియు హ్యాండ్ రిటన్ నోట్స్లను క్లాస్ రూమ్లో కూర్చొని చదువుకున్నంత సీరియస్గా చదువుకోవాలను. ఇంకొకటి ఏమిటనగా, ఈ యొక్క క్లాసులు విన్న వెంటనే అర్థం చేసుకొని ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయవలను. ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయడం అంటే కేవలం చదవడం కాదు, పేపర్ మీద రాయవలను. అలాగైతే గుర్తుండిపోతుంది. దీంతో పాటు మీ యొక్క నాలెడ్జ్ని పరీక్షించుకున్న కొరకు త్వరలో ప్రీ ఫైనల్ పరీక్షలు కూడా నిర్వహించబడు. ఈ యొక్క అవకాశాన్ని సద్వినియోగం చేసుకోవాలని 10th చదివే విద్యార్థులకు విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తున్నాను.
Hello all my dear students. Then earlier we discussed about the refraction of light at plane surfaces. Later we entered into that refraction of light at curved surfaces. Before going to explain about that refraction of light at the curved surfaces, and already whatever we discussed, I will tell you about such kind of the basic terms. And already I said, whatever we discussed in reflection of light, whatever the basic terms are there, those terms already we repeated in this. Like what? Their point of incidence, incident ray and reflected ray, surface, opaque surface, such kind of the comparison also we discussed yesterday. Very good terms, and we discussed about the basic terms related to the same. But there we have to remember a point I said, that is what, whenever we study about refraction of light, there we have to see about what, from there the two things we have to remember. One is what kind of the lens it is, whether it is concave or a convex lens. Second one is what, the light ray from where to where it is traveling, means what, related to the density there are two types of media. One is what, the rarer medium, second one is the denser medium, as we know. In the rarer medium, the density is lesser than the other medium, the second medium. In denser medium, the density is greater than the previous medium. Whenever the light ray it is traveling through different media, there is a change in its direction, and while it is passing through that different media, there we have to remember one thing, that is what, incident ray is existed in one plane, means one medium, refracted ray is existed in another medium, then not like reflection where both incident rays and reflected rays are in the same medium. Here we have to remember the same thing. First one is what, the type of lens is what we are using. Second one is what, through which media the ray is traveling, rarer to denser or denser to rarer medium. Here we have to note down one point. Whenever the light ray is traveling through the different media, the refracted ray, means the resultant ray, it either bends towards the normal or it moves away from the normal. But this is not same in every medium. We cannot decide that always the light ray travels through same type of medium, and which depends on its density. Densities are different kinds. different values of the densities are there. Basing on that only we can say that then there is an oil medium, there is a water medium, there is a salt water medium, there is acidified medium, there is other kind of the different kind of the liquids are there, and when we consider those are the second medium. When we take that the first medium, many times we take that as what? As a rarer medium like air only. See that when the light ray is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, the light ray it bends towards the normal. When the light ray is traveling from denser to rarer medium, the refracted ray it bends away from the normal. Simple point that we have to remember. Then when we come to that different kind of the densities of the media, then for every kind of the medium they have their own indication. Such indication only here we call that as what? As index. Index. Index means what? Indication. What indication? How much variation is there in the path of the refracted ray from the normal. Always we have to remember that we have to take the normal as the reference to find out how much variation is there in the refracted ray. We know that angle of refraction is the angle between refracted ray and the normal. Angle of incidence is what? That is the angle between incident ray and the normal. Then comparatively we have to take different kind of the media with different densities. When densities changes and the velocity of the light ray also change, and basing on that angle of refraction also will change. That is why there we have to remember that what kind of the variation is possible whenever the light ray is passing through different kind of the media.
Hello students, myself Sunil Kumar Badal. I have done my BTech from IIT Kanpur. Here at K. Venkanna classes, I teach chemistry. So right now I know you all are busy with your board exam preparation, but let me ask you a question. Suppose you want to be a cricketer. Who would you choose your coach? A cricketer or a wrestler? Answer is definitely cricketer. So in the same way here, we are the group of IITians, NITian and doctor. So if you really want to crack or get a seat into IIT, NIT or any top medical colleges, come here and join us. What are you waiting for? Thank you.
I repeat, we have to be very careful involved in making of this angle of refraction when the light ray is passing from one medium to another medium. This medium, this refraction, on what does it depend? Once we see very briefly, refraction depends upon the density. And refraction depends upon, this depends upon what? Velocity of ray. What ray? Refracted ray. That is nothing but the light ray. Means the velocity depends upon the density. And the density, basing on the density, the refraction can take place. Means what? Whenever the density increases, what kind of relation is there between these two? Already we have seen, when density increases, what about that velocity? Velocity decreases. When density increases, velocity decreases. Whenever velocity decreases, what happened to that angle of refraction? What about that angle of refraction? This angle of refraction also it decreases. Therefore, we can understand The angle of refraction directly depends on the velocity, and it is indirectly depends upon what? On the density, not directly dependence. That is why there what we can say, when the density is more, angle of refraction is less. Then for angle of refraction, there we can understand the density is that the prime factor on which does the refraction can take place through any kind of the medium. Then basing on that, we have to find out what is that refractive index. Refractive index means what? What is that refractive index? Now let us find out what is that refractive index definition. There we are taking that this is refractive index means what here? It is the ratio of velocity of light through vacuum to the velocity of light in the medium. Means we call this as what? Refractive index of the medium. Let us, we can take that is what? Refractive index of a medium is the ratio of velocity of light through vacuum to the velocity of light in the medium. This, how we can indicate this as what? Velocity of light through vacuum. This can be taken as C, and this we can take this velocity of light in the medium, we can take it as V. Therefore, mathematically what we can write? Mathematically, refractive index n is equal to, we can take it as C by V. Then what is its C value in vacuum? Where C is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. This is that the value of light through vacuum. When we find out the ratio or the comparison between velocity of light and the velocity of that the same light in a particular medium, we can get for refractive index. If we can know that what is the refractive index, we can select what kind of the medium we have to take to do a particular application or particular kind of the use. How much change can take place in that refraction, and when the light is passing through different media, that we can find out. Because of the refraction only, we are observing that different colors in the nature. The leaves are in the green color and the sky is in the blue color, and all the different kind of the materials, whatever we are observing in the nature, these all colors are only because of the refraction. That is why these all the colors, whatever we are observing in the nature, these colors may not be same when we move away from the surface of the earth. As we go higher and higher levels from the surface of the earth, from the atmosphere, color of the materials may appear differently. When we go into the sky to a particular height, the sky totally it cannot appear as a blue, but it appears as a black. As we move away from that higher and higher levels above the clouds. That is why there, this is that it plays that very important role for the refractive index to understand the variations in the colors of the medium, and to decide that only we are studying about this refractive index. This refractive index, one more use is there. With the help of this refractive index, we can understand that how much depth is a particular material, in what color the material is appearing under the oceans and at the seabeds or at the river bottom, depth of that rivers, and at the different depths of different liquids. These all we can understand with the help of this refractive index. That is why we have to study about this refractive index. This kind of the refractive index only, basing on that, there we are going to study that what kind of the changes are taking place. But mostly here in our 10th class level, there at this, whether it is whatever the syllabus it may be, there everywhere we are using only water, only the water. Very rarely we use that some oil, some other materials. That is why this refractive index, whatever the values you are taking, it is better to remember that what is the refractive index of the water. Then generally we take that as a unit value for this water, refractive index of water. Then no need of worrying about that. There we do not have so much values related to this refractive index. That is why there we can see what kind of the materials you are using and what kind of the changes are taking place whenever the light is passing through different media. Those all to understand that there we have to solve certain kind of the problems. Let us see about all such kind of the problems, and before going to see that, there here itself we write one formula also. There to go to that, in the case of the derivation of the formula, it is not much important, and we see that the first formula in the refraction, refractive index or refraction of light at the curved surfaces, this is only the foremost formula that what we have to remember. Then refractive index of light in the vacuum, that is nothing but what we take it as a unity we take. And about the air and about the water, the mainly we use these two different kind of the medium we use, and we can study about that what kind of the refractions are taking place. These all we can understand and in our next video. But while going to that, the next video, then as one kind of the reminder I want to give you, and remember that always while studying that refractive index, two factors you have to remember. One is what kind of the surface is that which the incident ray is facing. Second one is through what kind of the media the light ray is passing, that is from rarer to denser or denser to rarer. Basing on that only we can decide that what is this refractive index. Thank you for watching. We will meet you in the next video.